What difference do you want to make as a teacher? What do you want to be known for? Can you actually make impact? Like the fact that people think that teaching is not profitable, teaching is not lucrative, and for that matter, they wouldn't venture into teaching. Can you convince your students to love teaching? That is what we call a teacher. Now, when I went for my off-campus teaching practice, that's my macro teaching practice, that's what we call it now. I took upon myself to organize a spelling bee contest, and I was featured in one of the graphics, the journal, the Colleges of Education journal. Look at this. I was featured in 2019 for being one of the most outstanding student teacher trainee, because that was the project I had in mind. Now, this spelling bee program or contest took over 150 students and from different schools participating, coming together to participate in this contest and this program. I had no sponsors from the start, no funds, everything came right from my pocket. Teaching has to do with sacrifice. Now, having taught over a period of time and my teaching practice came to an end, one thing I'm so glad about this whole teaching practice thing is the fact that I was able to convince students, not verbally, but then students saw the potential of being a teacher. And I had a letter like this, of which I have framed this letter, and it's so dear to my heart that I'll keep it and hold on to it forever. Now, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to be recognized for? Teaching is a roller coaster, like I said, and these are some of the things you need to put into consideration. Make a change wherever you find yourself, being it the fact that you're in a village, a city, wherever you find yourself. People are going to discourage you, your colleagues are going to discourage you, friends are going to discourage you, but then what do you want? What do you want to achieve? Teaching is a calling, not just a job. Teaching is a roller coaster. There are good days and there are bad days. Having served a maximum number of years in the Ghana Education Service, I can boldly say that there are 5 major things you need to know before you become a teacher. Are you a fresh applicant who have just gained admission to the teacher's training, or you're already a continuing student at any of the 46 public colleges of education in Ghana? This video is a must watch for you. Hello there, my name is Lottie. I do create educational content for a payzor. If this is your first time, please do also hit the like button, subscribe, and of course turn on notification bell. So here are 5 things you should know before becoming a teacher. So when I started teachers training, I had this headache of looking at my stature and being in the JHS classroom. How is it going to be like? How am I going to command the students? How are things going to be like? So my first observation, I had my observation in one of the junior high school, of which I was to observe a science teacher, because I read science at the College of Education. Now, during this period or during this process, one thing I learned about being a teacher is, in as much as you want to be friendly to all the students, be sure that they do not take your friendliness as weakness. You get it? Because there are some teachers that you realize that if they speak, not just because they are speaking, but then they speak with authority, and anytime they speak, students, everywhere becomes quiet. Do you get it? And there are teachers that even when they are speaking, students will be remembering. You get it? I think one major thing I learned was that command, do not shout, do not yell, but then let your presence be felt whenever the students see you. You get it? So that they obey your commands. That's one thing. That's number one. Now, you should know that teaching is a calling, not just a job. I wanted to make a difference wherever I find myself. So during my micro teaching, yes, the micro teaching is the on campus. I chose a topic on, even though I read science, I chose a topic on letter writing in English. And then with my supervisor guiding me here and there, I was able to excel also. When I went out, that's my macro teaching, off-campus teaching practice, I chose English again, but then I was teaching science English and science, but then I chose English because at the end of the day, a supervisor or your lecturer will come and award you marks, of which is 3 credit hours. So you have to take a course that you think that even if you should close your eyes, you can teach at that instance. Science is a very good topic, but then with science, the TLMs, you need to get a whole lot of TLMs. Looking at the fact that if you are teaching, if you are going to teach osmosis and diffusion, you need to get TLMs like YAM, perfumes, and it takes a lot of time. You get it? It's time consuming because your lecturer will not sit down for about 2 hours, watch you do all these things. So you have to take a course or a topic that you think that you'll be able to consume. If your lecturer or your supervisor is giving you 30 minutes, you'll be able to consume. You know, building relationship with students is very vital. Why do I say this? Because the students feel free to speak to you. They feel free to tell you their problems. They feel free to tell you whatever is going on between them or between they and their parents. Some students find it difficult to stay in as much as they are very brilliant, they are very smart, or because maybe their load work at home is high. Some of these kids, their parents do not really fancy education. They do not know the essence of education. So it's up to you to build a parent-teacher relationship with some of these students. Now, these students that you are going to teach, you do not know where you're going to meet them in future. And so wherever you find yourself, being it in the classroom or whatsoever, be a role model to these students because they look up to you. Teaching is rewarding but emotionally draining. Why do I say this? So you go to school and then you realize that it is break time. Some of the students would love to stay back and wouldn't even want to go out to play with their friends. Why? Because if they should go and play, their energy is draining and they would not get what to eat. Some students have to survive just on water, so clothes, and there's many more. So you as a teacher, what difference do you want to make? Do you want to become a teacher just because you feel like after teaching, you definitely get your salary at the end of the month, or you want to make impact on these students you're going to teach? And so these are some basic things you need to put into consideration before you become a teacher. There are pros and there are cons. There are advantages and disadvantages. However, the disadvantages most likely go to the gentleman. You just have to be cautious while you're trying to help. And so yes, thank you very much.